A steady, calculated approach from the Dutch in the first 9 overs, and then a bit of aggression in the 10th. A 14-run 10th over of Sean Williams with boundaries for both Tom Cooper and at the other end, Max Dowd, who's been excellent, hit the shot of the innings, probably inside out, over extra cover for 6, and they've really taken control of the game. Just 51 needed in the back 10 of 60 deliveries, so it's got to be a stroll in the park, and there's some lovely parks around the Adelaide Oval, so not a bad place to stroll. I've got Zaheer Khan alongside on Cricbuzz Comm Box. They couldn't have asked for a better way, a more clinical way to chase a small total.
Exactly. When you have a small total as a bowling team, you expect to get those wickets, and wickets is the only thing which will keep you in the game, because the required now also, if you look at it, 60 balls, 51, you have enough time in hand. So I don't think for Zimbabwe, unless they take wickets, there is any chance. Max Dowd has been batting brilliantly, so Netherlands will hope that he will continue and finish the job. I think that's very important. You don't want to give Zimbabwe a sniff right now by losing wickets in cluster. That's the only way I see Zimbabwe having a chance of coming back in this game. Otherwise, Netherlands look like they've played good cricket even in the first half, the first innings, and now they're continuing with the same momentum, looking to finish the game in style.
Well, they'll have to bat a bit like Zimbabwe to give the game to Zimbabwe. But the other good news for them is that while Max Dowd's going at one end, the one person who hasn't really put his hand up, the Sydney-born Tom Cooper, we were expecting a lot more for him in Australian conditions, and he too has shown that he's feeling more comfortable. The last ball of the 10th over, nice little reverse dab for 4, 26 of 22. So good news for Tom Cooper. In an ideal world, they'd both like to be not out, finish with a good total, but the partnership has just reached 50 at the 10 over mark. So again, for Tom Cooper, it's runs at the right time.
Absolutely, I think for them it's an important game. Every game is an important game to go out there and win the match for your team. And when you're judging a batting performance, you got to set those kind of goals in front of you. That if you are in, make it count. Make it into 50 or go higher than that. And if the total is low, which you're chasing, then you make sure that you finish the job for your team, and that's what the Netherlands camp will be hoping from these two, to now finish the job and have a convincing clinical victory.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they wanted to leave this tournament with some points on the board. It'll, of course, they're looking at future tournaments and so much else at stake when it comes to these. But let's have a quick look at the Zimbabwe bowling before we finish off. Could they have maybe done anything differently, or did they just not have the firepower, or were the Dutch batsmen just too clinical in their approach?
I think it's the batting innings which has definitely affected the bowling unit for sure. When you know that the conditions are not that really tough, to go out there and defend, go out there to defend a total which is well below par, you always feel that the energy, the application doesn't really follow through. I think in Zimbabwe's case, that is something which has happened. The conditions have looked good. For Netherlands, it was easier approach to have, when you know that you are actually, your bowling unit has done so well, and you are going out there on a pitch which is not that really bad to bat on. So so you can make merry out there and help your team win. But for Zimbabwe, there was nothing much. I think the bowlers, the morale of the bowlers didn't look like it was going to be there to make the match out of it.
Yeah, well, the morale of the story then is, if you're batting first on a pitch like that, bat the 20 overs, put something on the board for your bowlers, which Zimbabwe haven't done, and the Dutch are capitalizing.